Welcome back, and we go straight to news on the go. These are live visuals coming from Mpumalanga, more specifically the town of Sabie, where that rescue operation to try retrieve the scores of suspected illegal miners beneath an abandoned shaft continues. In fact, the news we're getting at this moment is that they're at the cusp of bringing to the surface one of those individuals who've been beneath the surface for quite some time now. Nhlamulo Mabasa is part of our team who's watching the situation at a much closer vantage point and is listening to us now. Nhlamulo, if you are able to hear us, get us in on what we're seeing and what you know to be taking place there.
Hi, Ayanda. Right now, what you're seeing on the visuals is they're trying to pull out the 9th person who is believed to still be alive. So it's just a bit of a process where they need to be careful as the person we assume or they think the person is hurt. Like with yesterday when they were trying to retrieve or rather rescue the illegal miners, it was a bit difficult to take them out as they sent down a rope and then they have to tie themselves down there. So some were their hands were broken, their legs were broken. So but right now it seems like they are winning. I think just a few minutes or seconds from now, they will be pulling him out. So as my colleague Azwi is zooming in, hopefully you can be able to see. Today we are not allowed to be where they are, as today the operation is quite intensive. They just needed a bit of space to be able to work and to be able to retrieve these people as soon as they can, because today even the weather is very hot, so they're actually worried about the people there, because there were also reports that it was flooding yesterday. There we have the 9th person coming out. He looks like he's in a good state as well, like those ones that we saw yesterday. He looks like he's in good health as well. So the 9th person has come to the surface. He looks okay. Ayanda, we don't know if you can see.
We certainly can, Nhlamulo, and we're going to stay with you and these visuals for as long as we can as we take in the developments as they unfold in Sabie. What do we know about who's involved in this rescue operation, Nhlamulo? It seems to be very coordinated, dare I say, professionals being roped in.
Yes, Ayanda, these are professionals. However, they are working together closely with the SABC. It's a special unit that specifically deals with this kind of operation or rescue operations. So, yeah, they seem to be really doing well. Yesterday, there was an issue of resources, or even rather equipment that they were using to try and retrieve the bodies, also to help those that are still underground, or rather still trapped underground. So today it seems like they have better equipment, as the brigadier earlier said that today they are confident that they will be rescuing quite a number of people. At this moment, Ayanda, we still do not know how many body counts are still there. They are taking him to the ambulance to check if he's okay, and then they will be getting more information as to how many people are still down there. With this one, he looks a bit older than the ones that were rescued yesterday, the 8. As you know, that one was born in 2002, the other one was born in 1998. Those are the people that were rescued in the evening yesterday. So they're just talking to him now to get the information as to how many people are still there, down there, how is the situation, and also to find out if there's still maybe more bodies down there.
Absolutely. And it's been interesting, I suppose, Nhlamulo, to kind of listen to the language that's been used now, especially when you consider the remarks made by the Premier earlier this morning, who mentioned that, in fact, the Zamazamas, as it were, underground are very cooperative with police, and even they are underneath against their will. What does this mean about the prospects of them being arrested? Because, of course, illegal mining, as the name suggests, is not within the confines of the law.
You know, and even though they are cooperating with the police, even though they're giving them information that they need, the law still has to take its course. They will still have to be arrested. Those that are here in their country illegally, they will still need to be. I think the process they will still be charged with being in the country illegally. The South African illegal miners, they are facing illegal mining charges. We don't know that maybe more charges will be added, but even though that they are cooperating with the police or assisting the police and all the stakeholders or rescuers that they are here, the law will have to take its course. They will be arrested immediately after they assist him. Just that at the moment we are not able to cross to the ambulance to actually get a bite of what he's saying. But as soon as he's assisted, they check him medically. If he doesn't need the hospital or anything, he will be ushered straight into the van and then to be in police custody.
Yeah, we can see that he's just gone through a search process very informally. And in fact, perhaps what's going to take place next is for him to be taken to some kind of ambulance for medical attention. I suppose there's a lot of privacy considerations we ought to be making, and that's why we're going to come out momentarily from those visuals for you. But Nhlamulo Mabasa is still our reporter on the ground who can still hear me, and we'll continue, Nhlamulo, understanding better what is taking place there. It's the 9th person in total, but the first person to be brought to the surface today alone. There's going to be questions, Nhlamulo, about whether or not, this process is moving fast enough, given the heat you've spoken about earlier.
And I can confirm to you that now it's 10 to 11. This rescue operation started at 7:30 in the morning. And yesterday when they were busy working, even with the little or limited resources that they had, I think the process took about 20 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. So today seems to be taking a bit of time. We just don't know how bad the situation is for them to be able to rescue the illegal miners. But today it's taking a bit of time. And yes, the sun is extremely hot.
Yeah, of course, there's a heat wave warning in place in many parts of the country, especially where you're at in Nhlamulo, the central and northern parts of South Africa. Perhaps it's worth us reflecting as we continue taking in these visuals on some of the comments made by the Premier earlier today, who's explained to us that all of the people who are beneath the surface are in fact foreign nationals. And I think that is the Premier that we're seeing in Nhlamulo. You'll set me right if I'm wrong about that, wearing a cap and a suit. And of course, that's going to raise all kinds of questions around what might have been taking place beneath the surface there.
Hello. I end up kindly repeat the question for me. There was just a bit of commotion because the Premier also with his protocol were making way to their vehicles, thinking that they are leaving the scene because he said he just wanted to actually see the first person being retrieved from, or rather rescued from underground. So please repeat that question for me, Ayanda.
No problem. I was actually speaking about the Premier himself and the comments he made earlier around the illegal miners underground all being foreign nationals. That raises all kinds of questions around what might have been taking place in that abandoned mine.
Ayanda, it's actually not a secret in this side of town because a few kilometers away from this shaft that we're currently at, there's actually a different shaft that we visited, I think around September. We went to cover that. It's called Pilgrim's Rest. There, they say that it's about 4,000 illegal miners that are down there. And it is said that these people are not South Africans, just like the Premier said that the 150 that is still down there, he's told they are not South Africans. So this will tell you the kind of how rife this illegal mining in this place is, and it seems as if it's becoming a norm. So when the national commissioner gets here, I think one of the difficult questions that we're going to ask him, because they do have these campaigns or operations of Vala Umgodi, where they go to these places and actually try to close